What's going on, guys? This is Burrs. I want to talk to you today about the Pig Bomber magazine pouches. These are from SKD Tactical. They're relatively new on the market, and they definitely have some interesting features as far as this almost entirely is made of webbing, which is kind of unheard of in the industry, but that actually increases the abrasion resistance quite dramatically over traditional magazines. So let's get started. So what drew me to these magazine pouches is the fact that they're so slimline. They're so, slim and form-fitting to the magazine. A lot of magazine pouches in the industry are pretty much bulky. There's definitely the majority of them out there are kind of bulky. When you get into some of the other ones that are out there that have some Kydex inserts, they get really bulky. I'm into more of a slimline and streamline feel and look, and that's definitely what these provide. And like I said, these are actually made out of webbing. So these are, according to the website, 45 million times more abrasion resistant than standard magazine pouches out there. And I've had these for a few months and run them a bunch of the range and such. You can see this one's brand new. I never used it. I wanted to kind of see what kind of abrasion resistance this had. And you can see they pretty much are identical to the new one, if not identical. So they are extremely abrasion resistant. And one thing I will say though is when you get these, you really have to break them in because they are so tight. Like this one's brand new, and you can see that you really have to work that into there. So what I recommend is actually taking a magazine, maybe putting some cardboard in the front or back as a wedge, and just leaving it sit for maybe like a week, just to kind of break them in a little bit. Once you do that, you can still see. Once you do that, they'll definitely be more opened up. You can see that that's a lot easier than what the original one was, the one I haven't used, to get them in and out. So that's the one thing I'll recommend as far as using them on your plate carrier. Now this plate carrier that it's on is actually just kind of like an active shooter, home defense, self-defense setup. It's a tactical tailor or a Grey Ghost Gear minimalist plate carrier. And the way I have it set up is just 2 and 2, real simple. And that's what I've been using for the last few months as far as going on the range. And I wanted to use these on here because they were so slimline. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the one part that I think can be improved. When you're putting a standard 30 round magazine in, these Lancers are one of the more, one of the bigger 30 round AR magazines out there. And as you can see, by putting that down, relatively tight, if you want to put it completely tight, you can see this comes almost all the way down to the bottom here. And you have your Velcro right up here, and it comes all the way down to right here. So you have this much Velcro on the back here. That's making contact with this other part. Once this is male, this is female. That much is for a 30 round mag. What I recommend is actually cutting that almost in half and getting rid of some of this flap. The reason that is because I've come across where I flipped this flap up, sounds kind of goofy. I've flipped up this one, used it, and then it's come back down and kind of reset, and it actually has gotten in the way of the other one because there's so much flap, and this part here with the Hypalon has kind of gotten in the way, and it's happened to me a few times now. And I think the better way to go about this is, I don't really think you need that much as far as the Velcro goes, but you can get away with half of that Velcro. So you can kind of see the difference there where these line up. So this is a USGI magazine, and this is a Lancer magazine, one of the larger ones. You can see the kind of the difference there as far as how far down they come. Using the USGI, this flap is huge, and even with using a Lancer, and it's a pretty large magazine. So I think if they were to actually bring this up just a little bit, from the top here, come down maybe a third of the way and get rid of this Velcro, I think that would be a great addition, and maybe bring this up a little bit so it's not as long. I think having these up here would be a much better solution so the flaps don't get in the way. Now SKD does say you can run these open top, and you can put this flap on the inside, but as you can see, when you put the flap on the inside, you have all this excess. So I think if they got rid of that, it would, number one, it'd be easier to have the flap like that, but it'd also aid in stuffing this down inside. You can flip it in half and then stuff it down inside like this, get that out of the way down there, but it's still kind of like a pain in the butt to get your magazine in there. So I think if they were to kind of get rid of some of this flap, it would definitely aid in a bunch of different things with this magazine pouch. The fact that it is so abrasion resistant is basically what's driving this magazine. This magazine is going to last you a long time compared to some other ones on the market, and it's definitely lightweight too. It's not heavy at all. It's a very lightweight pouch, and you know, definitely something that is innovative, and I like innovative stuff. You can see the craftsmanship. Everything's really well stitched. Really nothing to gripe about there at all. You can see where this end piece is stitched. You can see the Hypalon right here. This Hypalon is great actually for glove use, for wet or sweaty, you know, bloody hands. This stuff is amazing. So I'm really happy they put that on the tab there. You can see the inside stitch work here. You can see the stitch work on the Velcro. For this single magazine pouch, it's $19.95, and you still have to order the mouse clips separately, so you're looking at over $20 for this. It's gonna run pretty much the same as a single taco pouch once it's all said and done. The question is, do you want this or do you want a taco pouch? Also has a drain hole on the bottom here, as you can see. So ease of getting the water out of there if you're in that environment. I don't think there's really much out there that's like this as far as using the webbing, which is very ingenious, and it's very heavy duty. Compared to some other ones on the market. You know, being made in the USA, being made very well, using the webbing, the Hypalon, and getting that for all $19 for each, I think is a great price. You have to order the mouse clips separately, so you're looking at around the same price as a USGI mag once you're all said and done, which will be around probably around $25 for a single. You're looking at around $27 to $32 with the mouse clips. So somewhere around that range is where you're gonna pay. Right on par with USGI or any other top-end pouch manufacturer out there. So minus that one thing I was talking about with, you know, coming down a little bit on where this Velcro is and bringing this up a little bit as far as where, you know, maybe if they came up here and started up here so you didn't have as much of it, I think that definitely would be something that would be good. I don't think you have to cover this entire magazine, and like I said, this is a larger one that's on the market. I think if they had it kind of like this, you'd still have that covered, and then if you had a smaller magazine, it obviously would come down further. So I really don't see the need for all of that Velcro on the inside, like I said, and I think that's definitely something they can improve on. But like I said, you know, at the end of the day, this is a great magazine pouch made in the USA. SKD is a great place to get your stuff. I've ordered from them for years now, and I have not been disappointed yet. So if you guys are looking for a cool pouch for your magazines, go ahead and check these out. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and let me know. If you guys have these magazine pouches, go ahead and put a comment down there, or better yet, make a video about it. And until next time, they're not exactly